Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Trial delayed in sexual assault lawsuit against Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. The sexual assault lawsuit against Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones was delayed ahead of this month's expected trial. The lawsuit, initially filed in September 2020 before being dismissed and reopened, was filed by a South Carolina woman who alleges Jones kissed her on the mouth and forcibly grabbed her without her consent in the Tom Landry room of AT&T Stadium after a Cowboys game on September 16, 2018. The jury trial was set for March 18. However, during a hearing Wednesday morning, a Dallas County District Court judge pushed back the proceedings. A new date has yet to be determined. Meanwhile, Judge Aisha Redmond ruled that Jones will be deposed. The scope of the deposition and when it will occur has not been decided. The plaintiff's attorneys want to interview Jones soon, while the defense attorneys argued other depositions, including the plaintiff, could be completed first. Mr. Jones' testimony will be that he doesn't remember this woman at all. He doesn't remember the pictures he was shown of him posing with the plaintiff, and, obviously, vehemently denies that ever, in front of the media, his family, all these kids, just grabbing a woman and grope her, defense attorney Levi McCathern said. In an affidavit previously filed in the case, Jones said, if deposed, he would testify that he does not recall meeting the woman. He said he did not sexually assault her and called the allegations categorically false. Redmond ordered the attorneys to have a meaningful conference to review multiple items in the case before another hearing could be set. The deadline for the attorneys to meet is March 20. The defense previously requested the trial be pushed back to March 2025 to allow them additional time to conduct discovery, which typically includes gathering information and preparing ahead of a trial. Plaintiff attorneys argued the defense had plenty of time to complete that work. Defense attorneys countered that they had multiple periods where they wouldn't have worked on the case because it was dismissed. We're not looking at a case where the defense has done their best to do discovery, and they need more time, plaintiff attorney Sarah C. Leary said. We're looking at a case where the defense had quite a bit of time and never did discovery. McCathern said that wasn't what happened. I have learned more about the plaintiff's case in the last 7 days, 2 weeks than we have the last 5.5 years because they filed a great volume of evidence, finally, regarding what actually happened out there, McCathern said. The defense noted that the plaintiff attorneys presented multiple witnesses who swore in affidavits saying they did not see anything happen during the time of the alleged sexual assault. McCathern called the allegations impossible due to how many people were in the room at the time of the alleged incident, including members of the Cowboys and news reporters. He further said the list of possible witnesses the plaintiff's attorneys proposed include the who's who of the team, including quarterback Dak Prescott and running back Ezekiel Elliott, to garner attention. They know it gets media coverage, so we need some discovery to set things straight, he said. Leary agreed the Tom Landry room was crowded at the time of the alleged incident and said the plaintiff's attorneys have requested the defense provide a list of who was in the room to narrow down the list of possible witnesses. She said they have not received such list. As for when a new trial date should be scheduled, McCathern said Wednesday that if Jones, coaches and players are going to be involved in the trial, it's ideal to do it during the offseason due to busy schedules. Plaintiff attorney Thomas Bowers has repeatedly told the Dallas Morning News that he is ready for his client to have her day in court. Jones is facing 2 other lawsuits. Alexandra Davis, 27, sued Jones in March 2022, alleging Jones is her father. Court documents say Jones and Davis's mother reached a settlement in which Jones agreed to support them financially as long as they didn't publicly identify Jones as Alexandra Davis's father. A judge has ruled twice, as recently as last week, that Jones must take a paternity test in the case. In a second legal battle, Davis sued Jones in a U.S. District Court for defamation. That lawsuit was partially dismissed in October and refiled in November. At a hearing in a federal court in Texarkana in February, the defense attorneys asked the judge to dismiss the lawsuit a second time. No ruling had been made as of Wednesday. Jason Kidd's tenure with the Mavericks looking like Wade Phillips and the Dallas Cowboys. The NBA is currently in a steroid-level era of scoring, but the Dallas Mavericks' level of effort on defense is so non-existent it's as if these players want their coach fired. Have some pride. If you're not going to play for the name on the front of the jersey, which in this day and age no one is stupid enough to do such a thing, then have some respect for the name on the back. This doesn't just apply to Hardaway Jr., Green, Irving, or Lively. This goes for the guy named Doncic. On Tuesday night, the Dallas Mavericks played their former coach, Rick Carlisle, whose Indiana Pacers put it on the Las Vegas Sands Corporation's newest acquisition, 137-120. It's the Mavs' fifth loss in their last 6 games, 2 of which came against Indiana. In the first year of post-Rick, Jason Kidd led the Mavericks to its first 50-win season in 7 years, and the Western Conference Finals. In his 3rd season, however, his tenure is beginning to have the disturbing look of what can happen to a team when the hard-guy coach leaves town. See also the Dallas Cowboys and Wade Phillips. The Mavericks are .500 since reaching the Western Conference Finals. Despite making quality upgrades at multiple positions before the NBA's trade deadline, the Mavs are now the NBA's most bewildering team. They are good enough to reach the conference finals. They are erratic enough to lose in the play-in round. Somehow their defense remains one of the worst in the league. We got the personnel. We've got the team, Kidd said after the loss. Everyone is trying to do the right thing. We show signs of it, we're not being consistent. Even in the best of health, everything from the 5th seed to the play-in is equally plausible. Because this team so frequently acts as if it has no clue how to try on defense. The Mavs are 5-5 since they acquired P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. Make it make sense, Mark Cuban. Or Nico Harrison. Or Miriam Adelson. Or Patrick Dumont. It's impossible to win games giving up 30 points every quarter, Washington said after the Mavs lost to Indiana. Defense is effort. We have to be better. If defense is effort, it is, and the Mavs agree they have to play better defense, then, maybe, try harder? With this roster, and specifically a healthy Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, this team should be good. Not the Boston Celtics or Denver Nuggets good, but better than flirting with the 9th spot in the West. The Mavericks are wasting a historic offensive season from Doncic, who was assembling a collection of numbers that a video game company would reject. The man spits out triple-doubles the way his team gives up layups. Against the Pacers, he recorded his 4th straight game with a triple-double. He joins Oscar Robertson as the only player in NBA history to achieve this feat. That's actually a lie. Russell Westbrook is the other player to do it, but mentioning that somehow lessens the achievement, because every time Russ put up numbers, his team lost. It doesn't matter, Doncic said after the game at his locker. I just want to win. Good answer. Carlisle was always the better head coach than Kidd, but his time with the franchise had come to an end. Carlisle knew it, too. Luka was tired of him, and the Mavericks are his team. Kidd's personality and demeanor are a better fit with Luka than Carlisle. But Kidd, the coach, is inferior to Carlisle, the coach. That much has been played out in these last 2 games between the Pacers and Mavericks. It's hard to envision a Carlisle team not playing defense the way this crew so often has in this past season and a half under Kidd. Some of this can be blamed on personnel, but the head coach has to wear some of this, too. Matchups. In-game adjustments. Rotations. Something is just off here. Rome wasn't built in a day, 2011 wasn't built in a day, Kidd said of the Mavericks' NBA title team. Since Kidd is going with that analogy, the Mavs are 7 years away from winning their 2nd NBA championship. Dirk Nowitzki was in his 13th season when they won that title, and Luka is in year number 6. 20 games remain on the Mavericks' schedule, and they're making the playoffs, in some form. The Mavs aren't falling to the 11th spot in the West, so we will see postseason basketball in the spring. Don't bet on the results. Dallas Cowboys may land $45 million linebacker in free agency. The Dallas Cowboys may land $45 million linebacker, Jordyn Brooks, in free agency next week. Dallas enters this period with limited capital to spend for available weapons in the market that they may need. There are plenty of needs that the Cowboys must address, such as their offensive line depth. However, they could look to hunt for wide receiver number 2 to complement star CeeDee Lamb. There was a hypothetical report that has Brandon Cooks potentially being traded away for draft picks this upcoming offseason. If so, they could look to address the need in the draft, but they may bring in a veteran on a 1-year deal to complement Lamb. Also, they would need to upgrade the running back and defensive line positions. The glaring hole that probably needs attention is the linebacker position. They could bring in the Dallas native and former first-round pick, Brooks, to answer their issue. Dallas was already thin at defense after losing DeMarvion Overshown and Leighton Vander Esch to injuries. The Cowboys had to switch safety Marquise Bell to fill the position as an emergency since options were slim. According to ESPN Jeremy Fowler, the Cowboys could bulk the position by signing Brooks. There are rumors that Vander Esch could retire after suffering many injuries throughout his career, so his time is most likely up. So this means that the Cowboys are in the market for a linebacker to replace him. Brooks would be a solid addition, but things are going to get pricey if he lands in Dallas. According to Spotrac, they project him to earn a $45 million contract for 4 years. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation Jordyn Brooks? Leave your opinion in the comments.